There's something about Raven when it comes to hardcore matches and the power almost going out during his match, much like the Terry Funk and the ECW Barely Legal. He had nothing to do with that, but this he had something to do with. And this is one of those things with I got to give him credit though, this hardcore match. I believe they built that room that they threw Raven through the window because all the walls were breaking. It looked like they built one or two rooms as props. I got to give WWE production or whoever they hired to do that. They put the effort into it. And of course, you have to frame and block this match out. This part was not part of the way they planned it. And basically what happened was Raven, you said in the notes, Raven was supposed to do a full lap around with Big Show on the golf cart with him. Big Show reached over, kind of choked him like the horror movie where they come up from the back seat and grab you, grabbed him. Raven lost control. And of all places, like you could see the cabling, the piled up cabling under the chain link fence. Let's go right for that. There's all this other stuff. And nearly for the second time, something Raven was involved with almost cut off the power and the feed to the audience. It's only WrestleMania. Come on.
I like Raven's excuse was, well, I had to drive like I was being choked. It's like, it's fake. Just don't drive anyway.
I thought he was being choked. I didn't think there was any like about it. Big Show, it's much like this LED light, Matt. You put it on 1%, it's still pretty damn bright. Big Show pretending to choke you is you and I in an octagon trying to kill each other. So let's put it in perspective. Raven probably was just he was being goozled. He might not have been choked, but Big Show was reaching for him.
So I think Raven's explanation was he saw like a chain link fence and thought the golf cart would like bounce off it and like sort of like veering back onto the course, basically. It didn't.
Well, Raven apparently has grown up very privileged and never hopped on a drive. He's driven cars before. So I've never heard that. That sounds like, I don't know. He wouldn't he's well past the point of getting in trouble for it. Like that'd be me like right afterwards. Like, I didn't even know the cables were there. I didn't know this. You know, I'd do anything not to have Big Show mad at me, so I wouldn't say he was trying to choke me. But isn't it, I mean, a chain link fence, like maybe 1,000-pound golf cart with 1,000 pounds of wrestlers. Oh, well, no, but sorry, Paul. You were like 4. Raven was like 250. You still had a lot of weight. I don't think the chain link fence was going to survive. The power cabling didn't. To some point.
Luckily, so the thing was that a production guy went up to Raven afterwards after the show and said, you were within centimeters of the sort of, I don't know if it was like the side of the cart, because what had happened was there was almost like a lip of where the path was, where people were walking around. Then the cabling was running, hugging this lip.
Yeah, they're cable runners that they're big, like kind of tready yellow things, and you open it up and you put the cabling so people don't trip over the cabling, correct? Is that what it was?
Yeah, pretty much. So he runs the golf cart off the course almost immediately. And then, the wheel goes off, he beaches it, and then, like, I don't know, like it's like the side of the golf cart basically started digging into the cabling to the point that he could have just shorted out the entire building.
And it was every power cable. Those were coiled, like those were, the cables probably came up about maybe almost a foot off the ground. There were so many like really thick power cables, and they were strung all along because they were probably thinking nobody's going to trip over, nothing can happen. It's completely out of the way. And Raymond's like, quick left turn.
Did you talk much to Raven at this point? Did he ever talk about this with you or explain it? Or was this like a big joke in the locker room at the time? Oh, Raven nearly, killed the biggest show of all time.
I don't remember it being like an outward thing where everybody did it. If it was, it would have been an all good fun after the fact, not during it. But I think Raven mentioned it maybe. I mean, I can't go back and say I was talking to him any more or less than I definitely less than ECW because I had other stuff to do, other things like that. We were involved in totally different angles and storylines. But at the same time, if I saw him or talked to him, it wouldn't be like we were total strangers. I have to guess. Not that I remember, but he couldn't resist. He almost cut off the feed to WrestleMania 17. I would be talking about it. We are talking about it, so thank you, Raven.
Badge of honor.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Right then. Just one more thing, actually, what I mentioned. How great would that have been if they'd actually gone around the entire arena in the golf carts? Because I tell you what, right? I mean, this isn't about AEW, but it is now. It's like when they do backstage stuff, that it is really, really dark, and it wasn't that well lit. Whereas WWF, even back these days when they did the hardcore stuff, it was mapped out really, really intricately, it seemed, and it was lit so well, and with multiple cameras in the right place all the time. I bet that would have been absolutely a fantastic visual captured well if they got it, pulled it off.
I don't know if back then, I don't think, or they were very early in there, they didn't have any kind of GoPros or action cams or POV cams, but having it on the cart itself as it's driving and getting, it's kind of like Cash Cab or one of those shows where the GoPros are in there and you can see that close. That was the thing that was missing. The close-up of Raven driving and Big Show coming up and, you know what I mean? That camera angle. You couldn't put a cameraman on the hood, but you could put a couple of action cameras up there to do that. Yeah, it would have been a great thing. I don't know if, do you think it might have been borderline wrestle crap? That's a long lap. That'll take about a minute, if not more.
I would have loved that. Because that would have been like in the Crash Holly, most ridiculous stuff in, like the soft
in the
play
playground where he went down the slide and everything. Yeah.
Amazing. I loved all that.
But see, that had the POV camera angle where the cameraman went down the slide behind Crash. He followed the whole movement. This disconnected because you couldn't get into the golf cart and film this. That's the only little thing.
Because the referee did. The referee just hung on the back with Kane afterwards when Kane caught up with. I say caught up. He could have just walked quicker probably because they were only 50 feet away. But the cameraman could have just hovered on the back.
Okay, a GoPro is what? $300.
Yeah.
Those cameras are a little bit more money. Imagine if the camera went flying and broke and the power went out and wow.
Well, do you know, I was just thinking
they would have blamed that on me right then because I had so much heat. It was my fault.
I was thinking logistically, because all the cameras are still wired, how much wire you would need to go an entire lap around. If you're going to be on the golf cart.
There was no NDI cameras or anything that worked off a network. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They would have, if anything, WWE, if they mapped it out and if it worked, they would have had enough cabling. They would have done it. You can't have any doubt that they don't think of things production-wise beforehand.